Hey, welcome back, folks. This is Four Corners of the Galley Sports and Jackets. And on this edition, we're doing a little something special for you guys. We put together our NBA preview. And not just any regular NBA preview, but the NBA Super Team preview. Because the NBA has changed in the last few years. The Super Team has been created, and the NBA has taken hold. The old days of Pippen and Jordan and Shaq and Kobe and Duncan and the Admiral are over. The two-man teams are done. Now you got to get a whole collection of guys just to get to the playoffs. So I put together my top 10 list with a couple little extras in there just for fun of our NBA super teams. So let's get into our mama mentality and let's kick it off. Before we start the top 10, let's start with one of my fun ones. The New Orleans Pelicans. I call them the experiment. On this unique squad, led by Mr. Anthony Davis, you also got DeMarcus Cousins, Drew Holiday, and Rajon Rondo, with a couple of key players in Tony Allen, Amir Ashik, and Solomon Hill. Now, for my taste, this team is gonna explode. That's how I feel, folks. I don't know what's going to happen with this squad. I think Anthony Davis is a beast. I don't know about him and DeMarcus Cousins working together, and then you go and get grumpy Rajon Rondo. Man, we're just going to have to wait and see. They finished 34 and 48 last year. I really don't think they're going to improve on that, but you never know. All right, well, let's move on now to our top 10. And coming in at number 10, you got the LA Clippers, the new sales. Last year they finished 51-31 and losing one of their biggest component that basically ran the team for the last few years in Chris Paul. Now we got a new squad. And on this squad we got Mr. Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, Denalari, Mr. Gallinari, I messed up your Italian first name, Lou Williams, and some key players in Patrick Beverley, Milos, the guy from Europe League that's supposed to be the new king of pass. We'll see how he does, and Mr. Austin Rivers. Now, the Clippers won 51-31 last year, and I don't think they're going to have the same horses to get the same record, especially now that the West is reloaded. But I do think they're still going to be good, but I always think they're going to be just a little good. So we'll have to see if they improve. Honestly, I think they're going to take a step back. They'll probably win like 45 games, and they'll have to refigure themselves out because now Blake's the man, and he's going to have to show that he can't fall apart in the fourth quarter. Moving on to number 9, the Washington Wizards. Or I like to call them trick or treat. The Washington Wizards have been good for the last few years, and they've always been in the playoffs. They were 49-33 last year in the East. They have all the components, but they don't have that magic to win it all. Now, if Kevin Durant had chose to go home instead of going to the Golden State Warriors, they might be a lot better. But without that, they still got Mr. John Wall, Bradley Beal, and Martin Gortat. Some key players in Otto Porter, Jody Meeks, and Markieff Morris. Let's hope he doesn't switch with his brother and play some games with you. But they're good. I just don't think they're going to get that far. Coming in at number 8, you got the Toronto Raptors. Or I like to call Team OVO. You know, what he does with his owl or whatever. They went 51-31. They're always at top of the class. But they always seem to be missing just a few people. With Jake running around clapping, you think they'd be doing a whole lot better. Obviously, his skills aren't that good as we've seen at Kentucky's Midnight Madness, but they're still pretty loaded. You got DeMar DeRozan, Kyle Lowry, and Serge Ibaka. Let me get that out right. And the role players are CJ Miles and Jonas. Oh, can't get his last name. These European guys be killing me. I'm sorry. You can read it. Wizards are always good, but you don't know if you're going to get a trick or a treat. So they'll be moving on again. Hopefully they'll pick up some more stuff. They're still in the East, which is being depleted, so we'll have to wait and see. And then we're going to move on to one of my fun ones. The Philadelphia 76ers, which I like to call the long con. Or, you know, as Mr. Embiid likes to say, the process. But I don't know about the process. The process has been going on for a while. Last year they went 28-54, and that was their best record in 4 years. Since 2014, they've had 22 draft picks. That's a lot. I mean, they do have Mr. Joel Embiid. They picked up J.J. Redick as their basically hired assassin shooter, so that might help them out. They got Ben Simmons and Markelle Fultz. They're another number 1 pick. Ben Simmons didn't even play last year, and he was the number 1 pick, and Markelle Fultz is their number 1 pick this year, the number 1 pick in the whole draft this year, and he's already hurt. They do have some good key players in Amir Johnson, Jamil Okafor, and Jared Bagels. Now, Jamil Okafor, they've been trying to trade for the last couple of years. I really don't see them going far. That's why I call them the long con, because they've been conning the Philadelphia fans for a long time, and I don't see it stopping anytime soon. Mr. Embiid just got a huge contract extension, and he's only played 31 games. I feel sorry for you Philly fans. Hopefully they'll kick out of this funk, and Simmons and Fultz will actually step up. Moving on to number 7. We got the Minnesota Timberwolves, or I like to call them the Wolfpack. Now you might think to yourself, what the heck is this guy talking about, the Timberwolves? I'm sorry. Have you seen what the Timberwolves have done? Last year they went 31-51, but they went out and picked up Mr. Jimmy Butler from the Bulls. Woo! To go with Karl-Anthony Towns, Andrew Wiggins, and they went to Atlanta and stole Jeff Teague. They are loaded. I think they're going to be really good. I think this team gets to the playoffs, if not the second round. But they are definitely good. They got some key people. They wouldn't have gotten Jamal Crawford, 6th man of the year, Taj Gibson, and Aaron Brooks. I'm telling you, watch out for those Wolves. They will get you. Oh! And then we move on to the number 6 team, the Boston Celtics. New green, super green. Last year, the Boston Celtics won 53-39 and made it all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals. No one saw that coming. And then this year, they go and take one of the guys they were playing against in Kyrie Irving and add him to the squad. Woo! Kyrie, Gordon Hayward from the Jazz, Al Horford, Jason Tatum, their new draft pick. They still got Marcus Morris, Jaylen Brown from last year, and Marcus Smart. Celtics are for real. I got to give it to them. They have turned it around faster than I thought. They put themselves in a great position. They finally used some of those draft picks and went and got Kyrie Irving. They're loaded. Watch out for the Celtics. And if LeBron is not around after this year in the East, I think the Celtics will be the cream of the crop in the East. Watch out. I think they're going back to the conference finals. I don't think they're going to go past there, but they're definitely going back to it. And then a little fun for all us LA fans and Mamba fans. I got the LA Lakers. I don't know where they are at this time, but right now they're called ball time. Lakers last year went 26-56, but they got some big additions with Luke Walton taking over as the coach and really coaching them up and bringing that Warrior-style basketball to LA. The Lakers are primed and ready to really finally make a leap after 4 to 5 years of just dismal basketball. You got Lonzo Ball, you got Brandon Ingram, you got KCP, you got Brook Lopez, and then Mr. Kyle Kuzma off the bench, Jordan Clarkson, Julius Randle, and Larry Nance Jr. Watch out. Lakers probably won't go to the playoffs, but I would not be shocked if they don't win 40 games this year. Could be impressive. Then coming in at number 5. Top 5 now, folks. We got the Houston Rockets, or I like to call them the Houston Two-Step. Now, Houston won 55-27 last year with D'Antoni taking over and James Harden really lighting up the scoreboard. But then, they went out and got Chris Paul. I don't know about you. Only the Warriors could probably compete in the backcourt, but when you put Chris Paul and James Harden together, something magical is definitely going to happen. They still got great role players in Trevor Ariza, Nene, Eric Gordon, PJ Tucker, and Ryan Anderson. They're going to be scary. I actually have them going to the second round and losing. I don't think they're going to get past it because the West is just retarded this year. But, man, if they can really mesh together and work that out, they could be something scary that teams will not be able to handle those two guards. Coming in at number 4, you got the San Antonio Spurs, or as I like to call them, the Ageless Wonders. San Antonio won 61-21 last year, and I don't give a doggone who plays on that team or who's in that jersey. The Spurs every year figure out a way to win and win big, and always figure out a way to somehow get either to the second round or the East or the finals in the Western Conference. I mean, they are always loaded. Bringing back, you got Kawhi Leonard, LaMarcus Aldridge, Tony Parker, Pau Gasol, Manu Ginobili still coming off the bench. You got Patty Mills, Rudy Gay, and Danny Green. The team is always loaded. As long as Popovich is the coach and making those guys do the Popovich way, the Spurs are always going to be around. Watch out for them. I just feel like with so many teams loading up in the West, the Spurs might take a notch down and probably only win around 50 to 55 games. I don't see them winning 60, but don't quote me on that because I've never doubted the Spurs. The Spurs are just the Spurs. Yeah, it's scary as long as Pop is around. And then coming in at number 3, you got the team that lost in the finals but won the year before, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Or as I like to say, one more for the Lands. Cleveland went 51-31 last year and did exactly what I thought they were going to do. They went back to the finals for the 3rd time. I knew they were going to lose, but it didn't make no difference. The Cavaliers are always legit. As long as LeBron James puts on that jersey in Cleveland, Cleveland will always be good. With LeBron coming back, and now you got Kevin Love still there. They take up Isaiah Thomas from the Celtics. They got Christian Thompson, and look at that. One half of the Banana Boaters joined them, Dwayne Wade. And they made it official. He's going to start. So you know LeBron's happy. I've seen a lot of those memes of LeBron getting that alley-oop from Dwayne Wade with his arms all stretched out. Expect that to happen again. They got great role players and Derrick Rose coming off the bench, Jay Crowder, and J.R. Smith. Cavs are deeper. They did lose a huge weapon in a young Kyrie Irving, but I still think the Cavs are going to the finals. Sorry to say, I think they're going back to the finals. I'll tell you who they're going to play soon, but they're definitely going back. They're still the cream of the crop as long as LeBron laces up and puts that 23 on. And the shocker to some, if not all, but some few ones, the number 2 team are the Oklahoma Thunder. As I like to call them, the Hoodie Crew. The Oklahoma Thunder were impressive last year. Mr. Russell Westbrook, Mr. MVP triple-double, took the team on his back and ran with it. And man, he was amazing. And then this year, they rewarded him. They went and got Paul George and Carmelo Anthony. Woo! If those 3 guys can figure it out, they are going to be scary. I got them going all the way to the Western Conference Finals. I think they're going to play the number 1 team, which everybody should know who that is. And I just feel like they are loaded. They still got Steve Adams, Raymond Felton, and Andre Robertson on the bench. And man, if those 3 can figure out a way to share the ball and properly shoot and get everything out there, they could do some damage in this league this year. Watch out for the Hoodies. And coming in at number 1, of course, you got the big 4 in the Golden State Warriors. You know them, I know them, we all know them. We've been watching them for the last 3 years in the finals. Mr. Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. They still got Andrew Iguodala because Kevin Durant was smart enough to take less money to make sure he brought back his 6th man. And then they went and picked out Nick Young. Yes, is Nick Young a little wild? Is Mr. Noodleman a little crazy? Yes, but can he rain threes? Yes, he can. And when you're playing on the Warriors and you got all those weapons around you and you're on the court with them, you better believe Nick Young is going to hit some wide open threes. That's for sure. So, I do have the Warriors taking on the Cavaliers again in the finals. I don't know who's going to win. I still think it's going to be the Warriors. I think they're going to go back-to-back this time. This super team has taken over LA. Hopefully next year we go and get a little bit of our own super team in the Lakers, and you know, Mr. LeBron comes over to the Lakers. But until then, it's going to be Cavs Warriors again, folks. So there you have it, guys. That's my super team. The top 10 and a few of the fun ones that I had to add in there. Man, let's just hope the NBA season is just not a boring slog through and through the season like it's been the last couple years, and we actually do get some good competitive basketball. I feel like with adding a few more players in a few more places, you might get some real dynamic games, but a lot of these games against some of these lower teams might be pretty ugly. And the East is just going to be full of a bunch of teams lost. Hey, what are you going to do? Either you join them or you don't. And like Kobe says, you got to take them down. Mamba mentality, baby. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining me on this NBA special, Four Corners of the Galley. I'd like to thank you, and please come back again. Until next time, guys. Good night, Ted.